This is a story about how I died on my Minecraft hardcore world. For that, we have to start all the way back at day 50. Things were looking up. I had just completed my raid farm and a villager farm. At this point, I thought things could only get better, but in reality, it was all about to come crashing down. It's day 50 and I start construction on my iron golem farm. To make this farm, I needed to flatten an area near my village breeder, then transform the dirt into the dirt path in a 19 by 19 square. It was at this point that I realized I did not have enough iron to make the buckets that I would need to create the farm. So that means only one thing, it's time to head down into the mines. At first I struggled to find anything other than diamonds, but eventually I got all the iron that I would need. In fact, I probably went a little bit overboard with my iron gathering, seeing as I was making an iron farm, but too much iron never hurts. I crafted the remaining things that I needed to complete the farm. If you want to build this farm in your own Minecraft hardcore world, I will leave a link down in the description with a tutorial that I followed. Before completing the build, I needed 3 villagers inside the farm. Okay, just escape then, I don't even want you down here. Oh. After capturing the villagers, I completed the construction and got rid of any spare villagers. The last and most difficult part of this farm was to capture a zombie and put a name tag on it to scare the villagers into creating an iron golem. I successfully captured a zombie, but then an iron golem killed him while I was off creating a name tag. From there, things just went downhill. No, don't you dare. Don't you. Ouch. For fuck. God damn it. You guys are about to burn. Can you just do something for your own safety? No. No. Oh, fuck. I had spent the entire night trying to capture a zombie, which meant I had to wait the whole next day until I could try again. What better way to waste time than use my new raid farm? I ended up wasting more time than I had bargained for because I could not find the last pillager. Turns out he was just waiting at the bottom of the farm the whole time. Because I had wasted another night, I decided to spend the rest of my time farming while I waited for nightfall. Once it had become dark, I captured the nearest zombie in the farm with very little problems. The boat definitely helped this. I slapped on his name tag and just like that, the farm was complete. The next thing on my to-do list was to build a house because I'd been living in the village church for way too long. To build this house, I would need a lot of wood. Luckily, we had a lot of spruce trees growing in my backyard. I think I got just about enough wood for this house. I found a nearby mountain right behind my village, flattened it, and then started construction. This location was ideal because I was still close to all of my farms. I went for a color palette of spruce and deep slate. I think these blocks complement each other really nicely. The only problem is my building skills. My house started to look a lot more like a barn, but all I really needed was a large storage space, and for that, this would work. I placed a bunch of barrels inside in a random sort of chaotic pattern so that I could definitely never find the gear that I was looking for. The barn look was completed with some pumpkins and leaves. It was time to start moving all my stuff up into these chests. This took a while, but was honestly worth it. And just like that, my house barn was completed. After finishing my storage area slash house slash barn, it was time for me to prepare my fight with the Ender Dragon. I started out by shearing a bunch of sheep so that I could go netherite mining with beds. The goal was to get enough netherite to build myself a full set of netherite armor. I used the beds to blow up the netherrack, exposing ancient debris. For each piece of netherite, you needed 4 ancient debris and 4 gold ingots. By the time I had used all the beds, I'd found just enough ancient debris to build myself a full set of netherite armor. Oh, ow. How did I not see that? Returning to the overworld, I melted down the debris, turning it into the netherite scrap, and then combining it with gold to create netherite ingots. I had 4 ingots for 4 pieces of armor. Unfortunately, I only had enough levels to enchant properly 2 pieces of armor. But that would have to do for now. Feeling slightly more confident with my new armor, I headed back into the nether to look for a fortress. I needed to find a fortress to get the blaze rods that I would require to craft the Eyes of Ender. Luckily, it didn't take too long at all to find one. I actually found 2 blaze spawners right next to each other, which was kind of scary, but also very convenient. With looting 3 on my sword, it really didn't take very long for me to get all the blaze rods that I needed. So, I headed back out and searched for Endermen, specifically a warped forest. Once again, this didn't take me very long to find. I had a pretty good nether seed. I grabbed all the pearls I needed and headed back out of the nether. The last thing I did before locating the end portal was killing a bunch of chickens because I needed feathers for arrows. The final chapter begins. First, I had to locate the end portal. That actually took quite a long time. I ran through the stronghold and its chambers for about an hour. With the stream's help, we eventually found the portal room. Here we go. It was time to complete Minecraft and defeat the Ender Dragon. I jumped through the portal and began dismantling all the towers with a combination of water buckets and arrows. With the towers out of service, the Ender Dragon was no longer gaining health. This meant that I could shoot it full of arrows until it passed away. Well, it actually turned out to be a little bit harder than I thought. I was launched into the air several times. Eventually though, I managed to kill the dragon. And just like that, I had finished the game. The storyline at least. With confidence flowing through my body, I wanted to find an elytra while I was in the end. This turned out to be a horrible mistake. We started off by throwing an ender pearl through the gateway and looking for a city. This took a little while, but we found a city with no elytra. The loot was very average, which should have been a good indication to stop, but I really wanted that elytra. I started to take unnecessary risks by throwing pearls to other islands when this happened. And just like that, on day 80, my world had come to an end. I am currently live streaming a new world, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to follow along on the journey.